Hey Lash family, welcome to your favorite Lash Tip YouTube page. I'm Chris. Today we're going to be talking about navigating the slow seasons as a lash tech. This is a super buzz time to talk about this because we are currently in a slow season. For those of you who are new to my channel and don't know who I am, my name is Chris. I have been lashing for almost 10 years, which feels like forever. I'm 33. I've been lashing since I was 23. So I have a lot of wisdom to share with you guys. I've been through almost every up and down that you can possibly think about in the lash industry, and I found solutions, and this page is where I bring those solutions to you. Additionally, I am a lash coach, so I help lash techs implement systems and strategies into their businesses so that they are able to pull down multi six-figure profits, revenues consistently on a yearly basis. So back to the topic at hand. We are talking about navigating the slow season as a lash tech. So we all know that currently we are in a slower period in the beauty industry. Additionally, we're just in a very interesting economic space this year. I feel like this year, it's interesting. I know that we are actively in a recession, but I like to say that some people will be recessed, some people will be on recess, and it is your choice to pick your frame of mind. So I like to say I'm on recess. I don't like to say I'm in a recession. Something about that, I think that there's power in the tongue. So there's just something in that don't sit very well with me. I get it. We may have to adapt our businesses to, one, stay at that very premium revenue that we're used to. But yeah, I'm not in a recession. But back to the slow season. So traditionally, we have 2 slow periods a year, right, in the lash tech beauty industry. I also understand that some people, they don't like to say that we have slow periods. They like to say that, well, there are always customers available. You just have to make sure that you're grabbing them. And if you're doing that, then you'll, figuratively never hit a slow period. I do agree with that. I don't know if I think that that's realistic for all lash techs. So I think when you message, you want to message to the masses. I definitely think that there are tons of lash artists who are not going to experience a slow period because they have a very established clientele. I also think that there are tons of lash artists who will. So I think that we should speak to them both to let them know that both are normal. So the slow periods in our last year. Typically, you hit your first slow period January 1. So if you've come into being a lash tech in January, you're like, oh, I'm going to go take my class the end of December, and I'm going to start the new year as a lash tech, and then you're hit with 1, being new, right? So that's already a thing to get out there and get clients. And 2, there's just not as many clients booking. So if you came in January, I know that you were frustrated, but I hope you're here and you stuck it through, right? Now we're in October, right? No, we're not in October, we're in September. So now we're in September. So I hope that you stuck it through. You just might have come in at a very bad time. And anyone who may be watching this that is not yet a lash tech but wants to be, please understand that January is slow, okay? That is when you practice. That is not when you get out there and start trying to build a clientele. So January is typically our first slow period. It's typically January and February. February, you will get an uptick because you're going to get a bunch of clients around Valentine's Day because everybody got to look cute for they boo. Everybody got to be batting those lashes, okay? So you're going to get a really good uptick on Valentine's Day. If you are not an established lash tech and you don't have an established lash tech bank account, you're still trying to build clientele and wealth, please do not let your man take you out of town on Valentine's Day weekend. You need to have your behind glued to your lash chair because you are going to be leaving too much money on the table. If you got money and you established and it don't matter, your client's going to book you anyway, do what you do, boo. But I'm talking to those of you who are worried about slow seasons. Be attached to your lash table. Don't leave. Sleep on the floor if you have to. Do as many clients as you can. Make sure that you are working until midnight and you are charging overtime for any extra hours, okay? And when I say extra hours, I mean if you typically end your day at 6 o'clock, then you're charging additional on top of all those services until midnight, right? because we got to be real, right? This is entrepreneurship, and there are times when you have to hustle. There are seasons where you may not sleep, but here's the thing: you're gonna hit a slow period, so go to sleep then. Worry about that then. Like, be calm then, because what you don't want to do is to be lollygagging when it's booming outside, when we're in our peak, and then you stressed when it's slow. Okay, so if you're gonna have some stress, have your stress be about, oh my God, I made too much money today. I'm so tired of making money. I've been in this shop for 12 hours. My hands are about to fall off, but I made $1,500. Let that be my stress, because I do not want my stress to be, oh my God, it's so slow. Now I got to go get me a part-time job. I'm used to making $50+ an hour as a lash tech, and now somebody wants to pay me $10.50. No shade to people that's making $10.50, but it's very hard going from making $100 an hour to having to take a $10.50 job. Okay, so if we're going to stress, we're going to choose our stress, and we're going to be stressed from our hands feeling like they're going to fall off because we have humped so hard in the busy season. Okay, so January, February, March. Sorry, gotta get those months right. So January, February, and sometimes March are slow, right? So you may get a slower peak right between those 3 months. Typically, we're going to pick up around April, from spring into September. Like, spring all across summer is pretty good, especially, like, let's be real, when those taxes drop, because now I'm talking to real lash techs, right? So I'm not just talking to the ones who work in Beverly Hills and it doesn't matter. I'm talking to lash techs who are working with everyday women. And when those taxes drop, right, everybody become a number one stunner, and we are working because people want their lashes done. So that's when you need to be working. Okay. So yes, April into the summer, and then we typically hit another slow season right after those kids go to school. Little crumb snatchers snatching all your crumbs because they're going back to school. You got to get them new clothes, new shoes, new school supplies, school fees, blah, 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 blah. The crumb snatchers snatch the crumbs, and we get none, right? That's typically how it goes. So September and October are typically slow. You'll get a little bit of an uptick around Halloween. So grab that little Halloween bag. And then that may take you through November. It kind of depends on what your clientele is. But sometimes you really don't get another uptick again until Thanksgiving. Until New Year's, we pretty much rocking, right? And then, of course, New Year's, crumb snatchers took all the money from Christmas. We had to buy all the food for them little crumb snatchers for Thanksgiving, holiday parties, all of this stuff, blah, blah, blah. You have to buy all these outfits. Then you're going out on New Year's Eve. You got to have the best on. Got to get your hair did, nails did, lashes did. And then you wake up from New Year's Eve and your mortgage or your rent is due, and there goes all your bills, and you just spent the gang of money last month. So that typically is what starts that slow period in January. But it's okay. So that's what I'm here to tell you guys. It is okay to go through a slow period, right? It's fine. You just have to strategize. So I'm going to give you guys my strategy. And my strategy is, and I'll say 2 parts. There's still a couple parts to it, but the first part is I approach my lash business by year. Luckily, I have a lot of experience, so I understand the ebbs and flows, right? So I prepare for the slow season during the peak season. I said around Valentine's Day, I'm going to be glued to my lash bed, right? We can sleep in our lash rooms. A lot of you guys are in suites 24 hours a day, 24/7. Go to work. So when the work is there and when it's booming, I'm there. I have went to, I think, one Beyonce concert. Beyonce has come to Chicago several times since I've been a lash tech. But when Beyonce comes to Chicago, Beyonce brings a lot of money with her. So if you're, whatever city you in, Beyonce brings the girls out. I don't go to Beyonce concerts because I don't need to be going to pay nobody to do my makeup. I don't need to be going, and I love Beyonce. I don't need to go give Beyonce $500 for a ticket and have to leave my lash chair early, right? When I could be getting all of y'all ready and charging y'all premium prices because some of you guys are going to have to come outside of my availability. Beyonce, when Beyonce comes to the city, I feel blessed. I feel blessed, okay? Because Beyonce brings all the beauty girls a really big bag. And I sit in my lash chair up until the concert starts. Okay, so I don't have time to go get myself together because I'm sitting there getting y'all together. So I say that to say, and that's an example. And I'm not even saying that you don't get to go to no Beyonce concerts. I'm not saying that. If you are in a place where you can afford to do that, then do that. I'm giving an example of how I think, and I like to maximize the peaks. When it's bussin', as the kids would like to say, because I'm young, but I'm 33, right? So I don't really be saying bussin', but we're going to say that right now. So when it's bussin' outside, I'm bussin' inside, bussin' them lash sets down, okay? And I am making bags on bags on bags. So you approach it by year. In the summer, I'm working, right? Now I have more flexibility. I have more jobs, blah, 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 blah. So it's a little bit different. My life is more flexible. But when I was in a space where I was really, really, really just trying to only maximize off of my lash service, very rarely did I travel during the summer. And if I did, maybe a very quick weekend. What I like to do, I actually look forward to the slow periods because the slow periods is typically when I travel. So I travel January 1 because there's somewhere in like the world where it's hot. So I just go somewhere where it's hot in January because it's cold here and it's not like a whole lot of money to be made. So when the money is on the table, I'm at the table. When the money starts to dwindle away from the table, then I kind of dwindle away with it. Also, it's like super cheap to travel in January. I typically always travel in January. Additionally, I always kind of travel in the fall. So like September, October, I always travel. Example, I traveled with my family. We went to Mexico in August, the end of August. Literally, we came back the day before the kids started school. So, most people at that time, they weren't traveling. So it was pretty cheap. 4 tickets. I'm in Chicago. I bought 4 tickets for my family, including myself, round trip to Cancun for $988. 4 tickets round trip, and that's including our bags, right? So I love to travel during the off season. Resorts are cheaper, flights are cheaper, and even when you get over there and stuff, excursions are cheaper, and I'm not leaving as much money here. So that is a part of my strategy. I try to maximize during the peaks so that I'm able to enjoy when it's slower. That's kind of where I like to do things. Like, for instance, I bought a house last October. I have yet to really put a whole lot of time in like decorating my house. So this past month, I have grown leaps and bounds in my home decor. It's slower. So that means if I have less clients, I can spend more time in the stores, take my time, like really focus on all the things that I don't have the ability to focus on when we are in peak season. So it is a really big strategy of mine to approach my lash business by year. Additionally, you guys know that I preach systems. When you become a lash artist, especially a full-time lash artist, that means that you are also becoming a full-time entrepreneur. I think sometimes we get so focused on the idea that, oh, I'm a lash tech. No, you are a lash business owner. Within that business, you operate mainly as a lash tech or lash artist, whatever you choose. But overall, you are a lash business owner. If all you do is focus on being a lash tech, your business will never run effectively. If your business is not running effectively or efficiently, you are leaving money on the table. I want you guys to know that for those of you who have come into lashes and you've hit your first 6 figures, which is $100,000, I'm proud of you. However, if you have been hitting only $100,000 for the last 3 years, then I do want you to know that you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because as a lash tech, tips not included, at $100 an hour, 40 hours a week. And I want you guys to know $100 an hour is not a whole lot, right? That's a $200 lash set. Like, that's not like unreasonable. I think sometimes when people hear it, they're like, oh my God, That is not unreasonable. There are plenty, like I think average people are charging like $75, $80. So if you are a not only seasoned, because you don't even have to be super seasoned, but if you are skilled and you have systems, then you can easily get to that $100 an hour price point. It is very, very, very reasonable, and it is a reasonable goal to get to. It is not anything that's far-fetched. So if you are at $100 an hour, that means if you do 40 hours a week of lashing, right? That is a standard full-time job. 40 hours of week lashing, that means you're making $4,000 a week. That means you're making $16,000 a month. That means you're making $204,000, not including tip, a year, right? So we want to get you past the idea of making $100,000, because why make 100 when you can make two? If you've made 100,000, but you've left $100,000 on the table, then I mean, you did cool, but like in my opinion, that's still a fail. That's a 50-50, right? Like you made 100, you left 100. It kind of completely balances out. So what we want you to do is to make sure that you're implementing systems and strategies so that you are optimizing your profits. We want you to completely maximize your revenue, because at $16,000 a month, I guarantee you that you are not very worried about a slow season, and you're very much probably looking forward to it because you need a break, right? We work with our bodies. You need a break. And for those of you who don't have breaks, I would say go up on your prices. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I've been looking kind of forward to my slow season. I mean, nobody wants to make less money, but like, let's be realistic. When you are in service, it is very demanding. It is demanding mentally. It is also demanding physically. And service is a time game. So if you're spending all of your time at work, even if you're making a great amount of money, and we are so grateful to be able to feed our families and really be able to pull down, you know, these high revenue months and years, but it is a lot. Like, it's a lot. And if you are a lash artist, lash tech, whatever, then you understand that. So you do, like, you need those times to not only catch up on the things that you might have neglected during the peaks, but you also need that time to just really like reset, reflect, and to plan. And I don't think enough people talk about that, right? If you're always working, and we're lash tech, so we're always using both hands. You can't write, we can barely text. There's not a lot that you can do while you're lashing, except maybe hold a business conversation or listen to information, but it's very difficult to implement. Like, some people have jobs where they work on the computer so they can have two screens up so they can kind of be multitasking. As a lash tech, we really don't get a chance to do that, right? So when you have a slow period, that's your time where you can still go do your 40 hours, even if you don't have clients, but you can do those 40 hours planning your business, right? Say you have, you're working 30 hours during the slow period, or 25 hours. That extra time that you have, you can still go to your suite, go to your shop, sit at your bed, and really plan your business out. Because one thing that I will tell you as a lash artist, as a multi-lash business owner, is that it takes more time to plan a business than to run one, right? You have to take a step back and you have to plan, which is another reason that having those systems and strategies in place is really important, because at some point you have to buy your time back and you have to take some time away from being in that chair to spend time with your business and plan your business and really navigate your next steps, navigate your future. Because in my mind, while we make really good money and we're able to optimize our chair, if you are implementing those strategies, lashes, to me, and this is just my opinion, is more of a starter career. This is nothing that you're probably going to do 30 years if you do it well. If you do lashes very well, I would say 5 to 10 years. Now me, okay, hopefully by 11 years, I'm done. Okay, I'm ready to retire. But I didn't have a me, right? When I came into lashing, it was newer. Like, we literally didn't it was hard to find lash length 18. Like, it was honestly hard to find anything above like 16 millimeters. There was no such thing as bonder. Like, it was just kind of still very bare bones. Now you guys have seasoned lash techs that you can reach out to as mentors, right? There are so many lash mentors who have been in the industry that can speed you up because we have done it, right? So if I've done it, that means that I already know what you're going to face, and I can give you all of the solutions and all of the knowledge that I have so that you can do what I did in less time, right? That's the entire point of a mentor. So lashing to me is not a 30, 50-year career. I feel like you can put like a good 10 years, or you can even do it in less, 5 to 10 years, right? 5 to 10-year career. If you're able to maximize, meaning you have systems implemented into your business that helps you maximize productivity, efficiency, and profit, right? You should be able to make enough money, right? And also, if you can manage this money and plan for the future, you should be able to make enough money that you can invest so that your money can make money for you and you buy your time back. For instance, I have started other businesses. I can pay myself from those other businesses a 6-figure salary so that I can take myself away from the lash chair. That is what you want to do because realistically, again, we are so grateful for the careers that we have because we understand that not everyone is able to make a high revenue, especially with their own 2 hands, right? And an environment they enjoy. Everyone's not able to do that. So we are very, very, very grateful. But while we are grateful, we are looking to advance. You do not always want to have to trade time for money because your time is so much more valuable than your money. And you can prove that to yourself because if someone told you today that, hey, give me all the money you have, I'm going to take your life, you're going to give them all the money that you have because you can get money back. You cannot get time back, right? It's very simple. So you want to make sure that you have a plan. You maximize, you approach your lash business by year, you strategize, you add systems, you add best practices to your business so that you are, one, able to get through the slow seasons with ease, also so that you are able to pivot your way out of your lash chair. I hope that this was super, super helpful to you guys. For those of you who are looking for strategies and systems, check out my 10K Mastery. It is a phenomenal online training. I got a whole lot of reviews of people that I've made more money for. I help people add systems and strategies to their lash business so that you can make more money today with the clients that you already have. It's not always about growing your clientele. Yes, you want a robust clientele, but I guarantee you that I can assist you in making more money with the clients that you already have because you do not have systems in place that allow you to be productive, efficient, and to maximize your revenues and profits in that chair. If you want to take that training, click the link below. Make sure you hit 10K Mastery. There's a bunch of information there. Go through it. See what you're interested in. The general admission is $97. The VIP is $297. A super phenomenal way to plant a seed in your future, and you are going to see your returns immediately. I had someone, I think it was like less than 2 weeks after she was a part of my 10K Mastery session, and she made over $1,000 additional with the clients that she already had because all I taught her to do was to restructure her business. So make sure that you guys are maximizing. If you are going to maximize your lash business, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. I love you, and I'm hoping that everyone is going to get through this slow season with ease. For those of you that are stressed, it's okay. It is okay. It's going to be okay. Keep going. Apply these strategies and apply these mindsets, right? So that January is coming up. I want to make sure that in January, you're not feeling the same amount of stress that you're feeling today. I want you to be able to move through your lash career with confidence and a level of peace. Have a good day, guys. Talk to you soon, and make sure you're subscribing for more of this content. Peace.